I'm Marianne Niskowski, and I'm a Program Manager on Azure Communication Services.
Hi, and I'm Anthony Valentino. I'm the Program Lead for Azure Communication Services. And today, we're going to talk to you about how you can use Azure Communication Services to connect your customers and your partners to your business, irrespective of where they are.
For this session, we're going to say that I'm the developer and owner of the Tailwind Traders website. And this is a pretty standard website. You can see there's a place to log in. You can search and browse for different products. You can even see a purchase history if you wanted to. And like most standard websites, this is pretty complex under the covers. It's all based on .NET 5. It has 11 different microservices in the backend, and it's all deployed through Kubernetes. Now, something that we've been wanting to invest more in as Tailwind Traders is to connect with these online users and our online shoppers. I'm excited today to integrate with Azure Communication Services, telephony, and bot framework to help improve our online shopping experience and engage with these customers in a more meaningful way. Anthony here, why don't you talk about what Azure Communication Services actually is?
Thanks, Marianne. Azure Communication Services is a new Azure service that powers communication workflows or rich communication experiences in your websites and applications, allowing you to reach your customers anytime, anywhere. It's built on the same scale and secure infrastructure that powers teams and millions of users every day. A couple key important mentions. It also includes the ability to bring your own identity and infrastructure. And it uses consumption-based billing that you're already probably familiar with within Azure. So you pay for what you use. Now we're going to walk through a handful of these services today right now. As Marianne already mentioned, a little sneak preview, we're going to get into some Teams integration as well as some bot integration. So let's first start off with what Azure Communication Services is and enables. So first we have voice and video calling. At its core, allows you to power one-to-one or one-to-many up to 350 participants on a voice or video call at any given point in time. Ultra-low latency, and most importantly, also includes a few special tricks such as web sharing. In addition, we also have chat. Now, chat allows you to connect similarly one-to-one or one-to-many up to 250 participants in a chat thread at any given point in time. And as a service, deeply integrates into Azure, specifically Azure Event Grid, Azure Monitor, and Cognitive Services should you want to include intelligent workflows in your application. Next up, we have SMS. SMS allows you to truly reach your customers anytime, anywhere. I'm sure most of you are familiar with getting appointment reminders or notifications that maybe your groceries were delivered or that you have an update to meet your doctor via telehealth appointment. All this can be afforded through SMS two-way messaging that also includes real-time delivery messaging and opt-out support. And then lastly, we have telephony or PSTN, the ability for you to provision phone numbers through an Azure service. You can now enable two-way calling through Azure Communication Services.
As Anthony mentioned, each of these modalities are billed based on consumption, so you're only paying for what you use. In the case of chat messaging, you're billed on a per message rate and calling a per minute rate. Another thing that I'm excited about as a Tailwind Traders employee is that we can bring our own identity. So for us at Tailwind Traders, we can use our tailwindtraders.com identity management system, but we could also just as easily use Google or Facebook or Microsoft account login. Now, I know Anthony mentioned a handful of different services like SMS, telephony, voice, and video calling. I think it's important for us at Tailwind Traders to invest in a range of these different communication styles. All of our customers have different preferences in how they want to engage with employees, and it really is scenario and context dependent. For example, if I'm driving around, it's probably not the best time for me to be texting a support agent. Instead, hopping on a quick call would be the most effective way in my preferred communication style. So the important thing is that we meet our customers where they're at.
That's right, Marianne. We know context matters when it comes to reaching your employees and partners. I know myself, I multitask often, and many times I want to just spin up a quick chat message with an agent, whether I'm looking to buy a guitar or maybe sneak preview today, we're going to end up wanting to buy a drill. Well, it's really easy with Azure Communication Services for me to plug in chat messaging or any number of other communication preferences into my application to be able to connect with them. You see, because with Azure Communication Services, we enable humans to connect to humans to connect to bots, or quite frankly, as you're also going to see, the ability to connect other technologies with your applications and websites.
Okay, let's get started. So for our Tailwind Traders application, I wanted to add a phone number that makes it easier for a customer to call and reach out to a support agent. Especially in our DIY or Power Tools department, we get a lot of customers that aren't super confident in the purchases that they're making. They're not sure what tools they should buy for their scenario, if it fits their project. So in this case, I think connecting with an expert would be particularly helpful and something we can do to give those customers a better experience and more confidence in their purchase. All a user has to do, if we're looking at this website here, is click on the phone number and call. And I think what we can also add here is an interactive voice response experience. Now, when it comes to customer inquiries, we see a lot of trends in the types of questions that we get, and some of them can be answered pretty quickly and easily by a bot. We can also make sure that we're routing the customer to the right department to connect them with the proper expert.
Right, so here we're going to give this bot a call. Put it on speaker for those of us that may want to hear it. Hello. Hi, this is Anthony.
Hello, and welcome to Tailwind Traders. I'm a support bot here to help you. Am I speaking with Anthony?
Yep.
Hi, Anthony. How can we help you today?
I'm looking to buy some tools.
Can you describe in a little more detail what you are looking for?
Sure, I'm looking to buy some tools to build a shed.
Okay, let me connect you to a representative. Would you like to continue on a voice call, video call, or chat?
Let's continue on video.
Great. I will send a direct link to join the video call with a Tailwind Traders associate. Please enter a phone number followed by pound.
All right, there you go.
The meeting invite has been sent. Thank you.
So for today, we're playing around with the Bot Framework Composer. And this is a free open source tool that allows you to test out and build your own bots. It integrates with Luis and Q&A Maker to help bring more conversational experiences to your bots. Now, if we look at my screen here, we can see that I've already set up a basic script. It's simulating some sort of user lookup, maybe based on phone number. It asks if the bot is speaking with Anthony. As we go down, it confirms whether it's Anthony or not. It might ask for the actual name of the user if it's not Anthony. We have a little further down here, the bot is asking to describe the problem in a little more detail. And once the bot gets through this introduction and kind of getting the problem and scenario set up, it realizes that we reached the end of the bot's knowledge base. The user needs to connect to a human to get their questions answered, and we have a choice of connecting over voice call, video call, or chat. The user can choose whichever one they want, and based on the user's decision, it will kick off different workflows to connect the user to the associate. Now let's go over to our Azure portal to show how we hook all this up. So over here in the Azure portal, we have our Azure Communication Services resource already provisioned. Here, I've already acquired a few phone numbers. In this case, we're going to use the bottom phone number, which is a toll-free US number. It has inbound calling and inbound and outbound SMS enabled, so we can send and receive text messages and receive the call from the user. Now, if we go over to our Connect to Channels, or our bot framework resource, we can see that I've added this telephony channel here and it's already running. This is where we hook up our phone number. So this is where the Azure Communication Resources phone number connects to the IVR bot experience to make sure that when the user calls the phone number, the bot answers. So with the combination of our Azure Communication Services resource and our Connect to Channels resource, we're able to manage all of our IVR and telephony experience within the Azure portal. And for this purpose, we're using the IVR to power our phone experience, but you could just as easily use the bot to power a chat experience, as you can see in the channels that I have connected here. Anthony, let's dig a little deeper into how we can hook up these to the logic apps that we talked about earlier.
Right, so here you're going to see inside of the Bot Framework Composer a handful of different channels where we're going to connect the user. It could be through voice, video, or chat. In this case, we're going to focus predominantly on video. Next, what we're going to shift over to, in this case, is a Logic App Designer. This is where we're going to go and field most of this information. The very first item in the Logic App Designer is the HTTP request. This is where we're going to capture the employee email, the user phone number, and then take all of that information to be able to go to the next step, which is creating a Teams meeting that will go ahead and bridge both the user that is joining through Azure Communication Services and also the Teams user that's going to be joining, in this case, through their Teams client. We're not going to run through the rest of the steps right here, but you can see that it will end ultimately with sending an SMS message to the user, which is going to be leveraging the phone number that was provided in through the Bot Framework Composer.
Cool. So now let's talk about the actual call and video interface. I already mentioned that we're going to be using the web SDKs. For our case, the users are used to going to our website, so integrating with the mobile SDKs doesn't make as much sense because we don't have a mobile app. The mobile app provides a more natural native experience, but the web SDKs provide a lighter weight experience for our users.
And that's right. And let's not forget that it's equally easy to set up a video call on web or mobile with or without phone numbers. Both of these use the same general flows and or connectors for you to go ahead and create a similar experience. And what we're going to be showing you today, just keep in mind, is connecting a Teams user. But you can also do this without a Teams user if you'd like to through Azure Communication Services as well.
Something that made this development process super easy was the use of the Azure Communication Services UI framework. This is an open source framework that allows you to bring in common controls in UX to your app or website while still being able to have flexibility and tweak those controls. So things like mute, unmute, turning cameras on and off, sharing your screen, all of those controls are provided for you, but again, you're able to tweak those to make your experience custom if you'd like. So we have our call all set up and we have the IVR experience all set up. Anthony, let's act this out. You'll be the customer, I'll be the associate, and we can do a quick video call.
All right, let's give this a shot. So first thing we're going to go ahead and go to the agent, and we'll start a video call. And in just a second, it's going to prompt me and ask me for my name, so the agent knows who I am. Drop that in there. Then we'll see a handful of devices here. Then let's join the meeting. Now in just a minute, the agent's going to admit me into the meeting. So here I have been joined into the meeting. So in this case, the ACS client, me, has now been joined into the meeting with the agent on Teams, Marianne. Hey Marianne, I would love to buy some drills. I don't know if you got any.
We have a few. I can set some aside.
Awesome, I'll take 2. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Here we were able to communicate directly with the customer and give them the confidence that their purchase was right for their scenario.
You know, and I could see this expanding to a lot of other scenarios, Marianne, such as fashion consulting, financial services, or even telehealth, as we mentioned earlier, whether you want to connect the patient to a doctor, a customer to a financial advisor, or maybe even a customer to a retail associate so that they can really experience and get a better understanding of the product that they're looking to purchase. All of this can easily be built with ease through Azure Communication Services and some of the steps that we just showed you.
Okay, now let's talk about our third option. We can chat a little bit more about chat. This was the final option we wanted to offer users to connect to a Tailwind Traders associate through.
That's right, Marianne. And as Marianne already had illustrated, that we've built a UI framework library to make this really, really easy and fast for you, because we know that you know your customers better than anyone else. And we just want to make it easy for you to connect to your customers and partners with these. So in this case, what we're going to do here is we're going to take and drop a chat control into the website, and it looks like you're already done.
Cool. Since we've already created the meeting, the only thing left to do is to handle the incoming messages and then handle the outgoing messages to send them back to the Tailwind Traders associate. Now, chat even supports things like emojis, or if we wanted to add in users or remove more users from the thread, we could totally do that also. Let's do a quick walkthrough of the chat experience. How about you be the customer again and I'll be the employee, and we can demo this out. Here on Anthony's screen, you can see he clicks the chat button. Then he's dropped into a lobby where he enters his name and is able to wait for an agent to become available. Once the agent, or myself in this case, is available, we're able to exchange some messages back and forth, talk about the drill, send an emoji, and wrap up the conversation, all within our lightweight web chat experience.
So as you can see, there's a lot more, though, that as an Azure service that we can offer. First and foremost, you can gather usage metrics, go back to the portal, you can set monitors and alerts. It is an Azure service after all.
So far, we've been able to meet our customers where they're at, whether they want to use voice calling or video calling or integration with chat messaging. This has been a great experience for our end users, or our customers that are visiting the Tailwind Traders website, but something that I can't help thinking about is our employees' experience. I don't want to disrupt the context that they're already in. Most of my coworkers, or all of our employees at Tailwind Traders, are using Microsoft Teams for their daily work streams. They're taking notes, they're planning, they're connecting with other employees, and it seems pretty disruptive for them to move from the Teams ecosystem to handle their day-to-day work, and then over to the Tailwind Traders website to connect with a customer, and then back to the Teams ecosystem to finish those notes or planning processes, whatever they have to do as follow-up. So I can't help but feel like this is a little opposite of what we set out to do earlier, which is meeting our customers where they're at and giving people the flexibility to connect and communicate in a way that matches their preferences.
Well, this is where Teams interoperability comes in. You can now connect Azure Communication Services to your Teams users. This is a pretty common scenario that we observe, where the internal enterprises or organizations, say in this case Tailwind Traders, wants to maintain their employees on their familiar application that they're otherwise used to. They don't want to disrupt their day-to-day. However, they also want to express their product or service to their customers in the way that best captures their overall value that they can bring to market. Now, the benefit of staying on Teams is that you get to maintain all the policies and everything else that you've otherwise set up internally for your Teams client and ecosystem. However, your customers or partners may not be on Teams or quite frankly within your Teams instance. So in this case, we've now enabled the ability for you to connect with them where they are, bringing your products and services directly to them. Now, most importantly, that this brings the best of both worlds together. The customization and ease that we've otherwise enabled with the chat controls, as well as the internal expression of your business, in this case through the Teams client application, which maintains continuity of service and a familiar experience that's easy to use and connect all of your employees together.
And it's a pretty powerful experience. I mean, for us at Tailwind Traders, we're able to keep consistency for our employees, but I can totally see where this applies to healthcare or education. Maybe you have the students and teachers all within the Teams app, and for parent-teacher conferences, you want the parents to log into the school web portal. Everyone can stay in the ecosystem that they're most comfortable with and used to working with on a daily basis.
Right, so I glazed over this earlier. So let's go back to the Logic App Designer here. We're going to take a little bit closer look here. And the first step here is that we're seeing is that we're creating a Teams meeting. This is an important aspect where we're going to take that, in that case, the user or employee email. We're going to pass it into this Teams meeting connector. The next thing after that we're going to do is we're going to post that meeting, which otherwise then allows you to go ahead and create the notification. In this case, because we set the time to basically now, so the call is going to start almost immediately. We'll go ahead and see that notification fairly quickly. So these two events allow you to see the event within, in this case, the Teams user's calendar. Then lastly, when all is said and done here, we're going to send that SMS message out to the end customer, me, who can otherwise now join the video call with our internal Tailwinds employee, Marianne.
So here I'm in the Tailwind Traders Teams experience, and I can see several notifications from previous incoming customer requests. And it looks like Anthony just started a new request by clicking the video chat button on the Tailwind Traders website. So I'm going to go ahead and respond and join the meeting. Now, when I join the meeting, I'll see Anthony waiting in the lobby, ready to be admitted to the call. And once I admit him, we should be able to connect. He's joining from the Tailwind Traders website, the Azure Communication Services client, and I'm from the Teams client. Hi, Anthony.
Hey, Marianne. Good to see you again.
You too. We have several more drills ready to pick up.
Wonderful. I'll grab them tomorrow. Thanks.
Bye. So in this case, we showed a Tailwind Traders employee using Teams to connect with a customer using the custom Tailwind Traders website. And just to reemphasize, you could totally have both the employee and customer using the custom Tailwind Traders website. In this case, we decided to show the work stream of having the employee in Teams and the user in the Tailwind Traders website. So this is super awesome because I can now add in some automation, as we showed earlier, with the Flow bot to notify the employee when a customer is calling and make sure that they're aware of the incoming notification. Because we're in the Teams ecosystem, I can take advantage of these automation and work streams that I otherwise couldn't if we weren't in Teams. And we added a bunch of things today. We talked about adding an interactive voice response experience. We talked about bot framework and hooking up to the telephony channel. We also added in a bunch of different services like chat, video call, voice call to help connect our employees to our users. And we were able to keep our employees within the Teams ecosystem so they were in the context that they were comfortable with.
Azure Communication Services is all about connecting people to bots, or people to your technologies, anytime, anywhere. We make this really easy for you, whether through the UI framework, a set of easily consumable primitives, APIs, SDKs, available through the Azure portal for you to consume today. Now, most importantly, what we want to point out is that Teams interoperability is now available in public preview, as is the bot framework that you just got to see Marianne play with and built some really cool stuff to hopefully sell me some really cool drills. Now go to aka.ms/ACS-SDKs today. Thank you everyone for joining us today. And most importantly, thank you, Marianne, for building a really awesome experience in the Tailwinds Trader app, which, by the way, you can get this code and go play with it today.
Thanks everyone for joining, and thank you, Anthony.
See you guys.